Who has a 100-word summary of all the trouble you guys got into last week?
Nodal went and found the Osprey ball, snatched it from the high priest, and said, "Mine."
The Osprey ball?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I have in the past described this Osprey thing that we have as the Osprey ball.
Yes.
That
he
passes
has.
from player to player every campaign.
Yep.
I'm picturing just like a mass of barracudas, like wrapped up in a ball, like
It's
a
a
rubber
blitz
band
ball.
ball.
It's a blitz ball.
Yeah.
Like
Nah, it's a blitz ball. It's gotta be.
It's an underwater ball, underwater soccer ball. It's a blitz ball.
It's a blitz ball with skull and crossbones on it.
Is it the one with spikes or the one with saw blades?
Yes.
Spikes
Well,
and saw blades.
It would be tridents, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was forks.
Trident is a
Dinner
fork, a type of fork.
Just dinner forks.
So Seeker decided it would be a really good idea to allow himself to be subjected to a Gia spell to find a holy relic of Osprey. That another character in a previous campaign who was not known for her reliability apparently still has in her possession, question mark.
And that's what you guys are doing right now, right?
What's a gear spell with?
Absolutely not.
Why would we do that? That sounds dumb.
So, let me get this straight. Seeker is magically compelled to do a particular task. And after that happened, you guys decided to do a totally different task.
We were told we had our own timeline. It's fine.
Mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Seeker was told that like he had his own, just at his own leisure. But at the same time, I think he was also told that once he started, he couldn't come back without the trident.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the main thing is he
So
can't
it's
come back.
So it's a real good idea to get this done now.
What if the trident's in here?
Then I'm doing my job.
More's the better.
Well, I think actually, by the wording of the spell, I might have to take the trident, walk through the portal, and then walk back through.
So what are you doing here?
We're here looking for Mr. Mad Metal, who has a very Mad Max name.
Arm.
We're looking-
Very Mad Max arm.
We have the arms. We're looking for the rest of him.
We don't have
Because
the
he was
arms
apparently-
with you.
He was porting with Finkles, and now he no longer has. His body allegedly no longer has arms.
I'm sorry, he was what?
He was porting with Finkles.
No, I
That's
follow.
fine.
You're gonna have to
sense.
spell that for me. I don't have any idea what you're inventing
I
words,
was-
and I'm becoming angry.
Thinking with portals, Rickroad. Come on now.
I don't get it.
Never mind.
I don't get it. McDohl.
My sense of humor is clearly too esoteric for you.
You had an amazing joke earlier. Perfect timing, perfect delivery. Laughed out loud.
Because I only save my good for material for the people who have access to the Super Patreon.
My God. So those are the people that get to watch the footage that I'm not recording?
I guess.
That's the backup recording.
You do realize we're going to be asked about that? Like somebody's going to leave a comment. Where do I get access to this?
How do I get the Super Patreon?
Give them my PayPal if they ask.
You have to sign up for Brix's OnlyFans.
I want to know how we get the Super Patreon 2 Turbo.
Rainbow Edition?
No,
Yeah, that'd be good.
No, Super Turbo is clearly the peak of the series.
Yeah, but Rainbow Edition is basically where all of the innovation came from.
Fair.
Like anything interesting you liked probably showed up in Rainbow Edition first.
I like to think I live a Rainbow Edition sort of life.
So I am not clear, because the map does not say whether these are 10-foot squares or 5-foot squares.
Excellent.
I've got good news for you as a GM. You get to make that call. Think hard though.
It's gonna take me a minute to think about it. They
Will
are
be on the test.
7.2 foot squares.
All right. Well, I'm done. Good night, everybody.
I'll get the ruler.
Actually, I don't think the squares are uniform across the map. No, they kind of
I mean,
are.
it looks like they kind of match up, like right along here, kinda.
From the
Don't
8
you
pixels
slap
you can
me.
see.
Like I can see the the regular grid lines that you normally have, and then like the grid lines on the map.
I see it says entrance.
Yeah.
And then there's a word over here that says level.
Level 1.
I don't see the one. I just see level. So
I
as
gotta
far-
say the presence of a level 1 implies some things that I'm not super comfortable with.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right.
when do we get to the water level? And is
I hope
this
we go from level 1 to level A.
So the main difference,
The level Roman numeral 1.
the main difference between this map and what you guys are actually experiencing is that there's no door out. You came into a door and then ended up here,
Mm-hmm.
which seems unfair because you solved the puzzle properly.
Clearly, we've got to bumblefuck our way out of here, so let's get to it.
Probably more puzzles.
we have to investigate our way out?
Okay, so what's next?
Wow, you sounded resigned as you said that. Have we finally gotten to you?
Gus is like, I just really am tired of being an investigator. I want to try being an adventurer.
No.
See, that's what I'm saying, is I think we might have finally gotten to Gus, and he's admitting that we're adventurers. Oh, wait, no, shit.
The veil slips.
I'm not the one that keeps insisting it. It's Connor. I'm in on the joke.
Wait, it's a joke?
It is, as far as Gus is concerned, it's a joke.
Don't break kayfabe.
So
Yeah, it's kayfabe. There you go.
the floors and walls of this location are smooth bronze. Who does not have dark vision?
If I need it, I can cast the spell.
Okay, well, you can't see at the moment because there's no light source.
And I am casting dark vision on my.
Excellent.
Now you can see.
Looking at the floor, it's made up of these interlocking tiles that, rather than like tiles that are kind of laid out on the ground in a way that they are stationary, these tiles look like they've been snapped or slid into place. So as you walk over them, you can feel them move and shift under your feet. Although to the exact extent to how far they can move and shift, or what lies beneath them, you are not sure.
Does the ground look tiled like
yes,
this?
it looks like this.
Does the wall look tiled?
No.
Okay, that's at least somewhat promising, guys.
So some areas of the floor, like the one in front of Seeker here, have large circular metal plates instead of the smaller metal tiles. And then just around
I
the
may
corner
have
to your right is
missed
a large...
this, but we decide on a scale.
I'm gonna just I'm gonna leave it vague. Sometimes it's gonna be 5 feet, sometimes it's gonna be 10 feet. No, we'll say these are 5 foot squares. We'll say these are nice and cramped.
Okay.
I
That sounds right.
think that's the intent of the map designer. I don't know for sure, but it must be. It must be 5 foot squares. 7 foot, 2 foot squares.
I mean, if these were 10-foot squares, this would be a very large, like incredibly large complex.
The squares. One of the reasons I'm thinking they're 5 foot squares is because it'd be difficult to stand on just one of these tiles. Pretty much anywhere you stand, your feet are going to be on 2 different tiles on the floor. And some of them, I mean, you can feel the give in them. Like, they're not going to... It doesn't feel like they're going to fall away from you. It doesn't feel like you're on a rickety bridge extended over a void. But it feels like the tiles were snapped into place on the floor, and nothing is there securing them. So it's entirely possible that some of these tiles will fall away or slide away. Or who knows. The door around the corner from where Seeker is standing is a metal sliding door. Like it would slide either into the wall or into the floor. It has a large handle on the front of it by which you could grab to move it in some direction.
All right. So that door is like right here.
Yep.
I'm gonna back up and let someone else take a look at that door. Alex, you want to take a peek?
Alex, make an investigation check. How'd we do?
That's going to be a 23.
Are we just investigating it visually, or are you...
I'll pull out my thieves' tools and probe once I do it. Give it a quick visual once over.
It's really nothing to probe. It's a solid slab of metal making up the door, and then there is either welded or bolted into place is a large horizontal bar, wide enough that a human could have both of his hands gripping onto it.
Can I, like, knock on it and see if there's any places that it sounds like there might be a mechanism? It's not, like, solid?
It sounds hollow on the other side, actually, as you thrum around the door. But you don't find anywhere where it sounds like the door itself is hollow. And inspecting it visually, you don't see the door where there's any seams or welds where it's made up of multiple plates. It looks like one large slab of metal.
And what's securing this bolt?
Investigating it, looks like the handle is welded to the center of the door.
Mm-hmm. Looks good.
All right. Gus is going to grab the handle and jerk to the side.
Which side?
Left.
Left. And in that direction, you feel some give, but then there's a loud shudder as the door, after maybe an inch or something, slams into something solid and won't open if you move it that direction. And as it kind of recoils back, you realize, holding this handle, it has some give in all four directions.
Okay. I'm going to... When you say all four directions, do you mean...
Left, right, up, down.
Okay, up and down. Gotcha. I was like pulling it towards me or pushing it is what I was wondering. But yeah, I'm going to push it down.
Grabbing hold of the handle and pushing down, for a second you feel a momentary resistance at about the same distance as it stopped when you moved it left. But you kind of muscle through that, and after that, it's as though something grips the bottom of the door and pulls it the rest of the way down. Once you push past that initial resistance, and the door slides away, and the loud ticking and talking of the room beyond fills your eardrums.
Is this what Artificer Hell is?
No, Yalari is Artificer Hell. Looking into this room, there's a large brass gear ticking away clockwise, relatively slowly. It's ticking in set intervals, so it's not rotating smoothly. And it looks like it might take a full minute or so to make a full revolution. You see doors, similar to the one you just opened, but curved to fit the curvature of the room. To the north, the northwest, and the southwest.
See them.
On the north and south area of the room are two pedestals. These sit somewhat below the gear, maybe by a couple of feet, so the gear can rotate over them. So if you were to stand on one of these pedestals, you'd have to have a plan for when the gear rotates around, otherwise the thing would sweep you off. The first one has a circular red symbol on it in the north, and the south one has a red triangle in the center of it. Beneath the gear, you can see the mechanism in the center holding the gear for maybe a couple feet, but as the point where it goes down past the top of these pedestals, it just disappears into a black cloud that you cannot see through.
Does anybody else want to go first?
No.
Did I just hear like a chorus of no's?
No, you hear the clicking and clacking of the movement of the gear in this room, as well as the echoing of clicking and clacking all throughout the complex beyond these doors.
Like deafeningly loud?
You can hear yourself think, and if people are standing relatively close to you, you can hear what they say as long as they're making an effort to be heard. But you wouldn't want to try to sleep in this place.
Does Connor want to try and go across the gears? Is that why he stepped forward?
Yeah.
I do have a torch out, so like you can see color and things.
So, standing on the gear will not take a great amount of dexterity as long as you're standing on one of these sections.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like to stand on either like the arms or spokes in the center or this middle ring, that's going to require better balance. Here's the fun bit, Connor, as you step out onto the gear. You can tell that the machinery in this place is well lubricated. It's not slippery to the point where you're in danger of falling off, but if you were to, say, get into a fight with monsters or ne'er-do-wells while on this gear, the lubrication might be an impediment to moving quickly.
Connor points that out for the rest of the team.
So you're saying like the terrain might be difficult, Connor?
Mechanically,
In manner of speaking.
on your turn, before you move, you can either treat moving around the gear as difficult terrain, or you can move your full speed, but make a dexterity saving throw to avoid falling.
Got it.
Your choice.
Can I tell how deep the fall is?
You can't, because about a foot beneath where your boots are, maybe more than a foot, maybe 2 or 3 feet, would be the top of this pedestal next to you, and then 2-3 feet below that, it's just engulfed with this inky black cloud that you cannot see through.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to pull out another torch and light a second torch. I'm going to throw the first torch down the hole.
You hear a hissing sound as the torch falls into the cloud. Notably, the fire is extinguished, and then the torch disappears from view.
And I missed what is around the gear. I thought there was something.
3 doors. One to the north,
3 doors.
one to the northwest, one to the southwest. The 3 doors standing where you are look identical to the door that Gus just opened. Metal slats with a handle in the center, except they're curved to fit the curvature of the room.
Gotcha. Gus, you opened it to the left, right?
Down.
Down? That's what it was. All right.
Which leads me to believe that maybe this one goes to the left, this one goes up, and this one goes to the right. That's what I would try, because that just seems just convoluted enough to... It seems like what Alex would do.
All right.
Probably make them all open in a clockwise or counterclockwise motion.
Let's examine this door.
And
And
off here.
Okay? And examining the door, it's like I said, it's a solid, massive metal.
Yep.
With a handle in the center of it. The handle, it's a bar. It's a horizontal bar that's big enough for a human to get both hands on it. And that's in fact what Gus had to do to shove it downward.
Yeah. And Connor will repeat try to going in the downward motion of the door in an effort to open.
And it has give to it. It travels downward maybe an inch or so. Then there's a loud thrum as it crashes into something. There's something blocking its movement in that direction. And as it kind of recoils back to the center, you realize it, again, has give in all 4 directions. It can slide to the left or right, or it can be pulled into the ceiling or the floor.
Let's try the left next.
Same thing. It shudders.
Okay.
It does not open.
To the right?
And by that point, the gear has spun enough.
No.
I mean,
Try it to the right, Gus.
okay. I'm gonna toss the torch to him and try it to the right.
Connor, you're on fire now.
I'll step into the room.
Take 1d. You take one
Is
fire
the
damage.
center square, is there enough here to be secure, or is the gap in this cog too big?
There is a gap in the cog. I mean, you
He
can
said if
you
you
can
step
stand
out there-
anywhere you'd like, but you can only stand safely on the teeth of the cog.
On the teeth, got it. Yep.
Gus, moving it down, there's a loud shudder.
right. Right.
Moving it right, there's a loud shudder. Does not give.
Okay. Up.
I'm trying to
That's the.
move it up, there's a loud shudder. It does not give.
When I stepped into the room, did our door shut?
No.
I shut the door, and then I said, "Gus, you might want to try that again."
How do you shut the door?
I push it upwards.
I mean, you can't. It's slid down into the floor.
Oh, it's completely gone.
It's
Okay, got
completely
it.
slid all the way down.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. Then.
Was the door is completely smooth, right?
As reasonably smooth as a
Yeah,
metallic surface can be.
But there's no place for like a lever to pull it up or anything like that. Like I can't get my crowbar in there and
No.
launch it back up.
What's probably most likely is there was some mechanism underneath
Right.
that assisted the door pulling it down that can be reversed somehow.
What's on these pedestals?
So the north pedestal, the pedestals themselves sit about 2 feet below the gear. So the rotating gear has could sweep you off if you're not paying attention. The first one to the north here has a large red circle on it. And the one in the south, closest to you, has a red triangle on it.
Are these do they look like they're moving? Like, are they completely static?
No, they're stationary and they sit low enough that the gear can rotate smoothly above them.
Just want to like ride over and just try all 3 doors to see if any of them open.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not to.
Okay.
Who's doing this?
That's what
I mean, like, we got enough to try 2, so Connor tries 2, and then I'll try 2, as we just
Yeah.
kind of circle around slowly, I guess.
Connor,
doing it methodically.
which door are you
Downward.
trying? And what order are you doing the directions in?
Down, and if that fails, then left. Because it sounds like I can get 2 in before the cog moves around.
Well, yeah, but then you can just move to the next 2 and do it again. So down does not open. You're at the north door here?
Yep.
Does not open the door, and neither does left.
Bomber.
Okay. Gus is going to grab it, and he's going to do the other 2 directions. He did down and left. I'll do up and then right.
And the shutters in both directions. Does not open.
Is there any push-pull give?
It doesn't feel like the door can open in those directions, but I mean, imagine like a sliding glass door to your house. It has as much give as if you just pushed on the pane of the glass. You can feel it wriggling in its little slats. But the door is
Okay,
obviously
carefully-
not going to open outward or inward.
Carefully walking along, is there any push on these pedestals? Like if I press on that triangle, does that push down to any?
How long are your arms? Because it's a good 2 feet below you.
I don't know. Maybe that would be too much.
Like I'm
Connor,
picturing,
can you pull this one off?
if you were to lay on your stomach and lean out, it'd be too far away to push down with your hands.
Yeah, maybe Connor can get a push on this.
I mean, I can tell you how long your arms are if you tell me how tall you are.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm a gnome, dude.
Connor, do you have anything to push the pedestal with, like a weapon, 10-foot pole, anything of the nature?
Gus summons his halberd and just kind of like sticks it over to Connor and says, "Here, use this."
Okay.
Yeah. Connor grabs Gus's halberd.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Connor,
Yeah.
the difficulty with pressing down on this pedestal with a pole, or a pole arm in this case, is that you don't have a lot of traction with your feet because of the lubrication that's on the gear. So my question to you is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous are you willing to get on this somewhat slippery surface? Pressing.
Yeah, Connor's my second character too.
So wait, does the scale go up or down as you go through characters?
I think it would go up because you get less attached.
I'm really attached to Connor. So much better than whoever his previous character was.
I agree.
Adrix, I think.
Right.
Well,
So this is doable, but the question I'm asking is, like, how much do you
I
trust
know.
your boots
What-
on this surface?
which is to say, not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
They found that spider silk.
That's right, you do have magic boots.
All right, then 10.
Do the-
10 is the danger.
Do the boots do anything against slippery surfaces?
They just make them quieter.
Oh, okay. Connor, make me
Yeah.
a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw?
Yep.
It's what, 4 blips to pass?
Yes, it is.
Only if you fail.
Connor's strength is bad, isn't it?
It's, yeah, let's just do the blips.
All right. Connor,
Coward.
spending the 4 blips.
I said 10 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Connor,
All right?
pushing, like, reaching out and tapping the pedestal with the halberd is trivial. And when you do, you realize that the pedestal does have some move to it. Although to really understand how, you have to push very hard from your positions. I mean, you brace your feet against the ground as best as you can and shove with the pole arm. And you're able to make it descend slightly. So applying weight to the pedestal makes it descend. Alexander, what is your passive perception?
Passive perception is 14.
14. As he does this, as you're coming around the other side of the room, you notice the pedestal nearest to you, the red circle one, ascends a very small amount. It's got to come up a full 1.5 feet or so before it's touching the bottom of this gear.
Okay.
And Connor, that was you putting all of your strength into pushing this halberd. So the amount of weight required to push down this pedestal is greater than what you could push with your arms from up here.
This sounds like it's more of a Gus thing.
Yeah. So
It
I
honestly
guess-
seems like there might be something descending from the ceiling that'll push it.
is there anything on the ceiling?
It's a dome
would stop the
ceiling,
gear.
but it's otherwise featureless.
Okay.
Yeah, or the gear. Like maybe there's something from the bottom of the gear.
Just gonna jump
Um,
on it.
That's
Yes.
actually a good point. I think I'm gonna send my Tressum to examine the bottom of the gear.
And it looks identical to the top of the gear underneath.
Okay.
Gus,
Is there enough space here for Scrappy to aid another? While he's pushing?
there's nobody for Scrappy to aid at the moment. So Gus, you're jumping out to the pedestal?
Yep.
Okay. And as soon as you land on top of it, it does start descending. Alex, the one nearer to you, starts ascending. Gus, how long do you stand here? Because after 10 or 15 seconds or so, you're going to have to do something to get up and over the spoke that's coming your way.
I'm going to like how fat how close is that the inky darkness?
About 3 or 4 feet underneath you. And this thing is not
Okay.
descending rapidly.
Okay.
How tall is the gear?
I don't know, matter of inches. Maybe
I mean, so you've got at least 2 feet of clearance. Just duck.
Yeah. I'll just write it down. If it looks like it's gonna go into the darkness, then I'll do something.
Okay, but you're going prone on the pedestal?
Not prone, just squatting. But mechanically prone, then yeah.
Crouch.
Yeah, I'm crouching.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
Crouching Gus.
I don't have any blips, by the way.
Hidden platform.
You have, oh, you have 0
I have-
blips.
I have 0 blips.
No blips.
You
Maybe
said
that level
just
will help you.
a dexterity saving throw?
Yep.
That is a 13.
13? After it sinks for a couple of seconds, it comes to a stop. And you realize it's not going to sink any lower than that. But from this position, the spoke is almost on top of you. And ducking is not going to cut it. So you have to manage to scramble up and over this spoke very quickly.
Okay.
And though it is slippery, and though your armor is heavy, you manage to do it deftly. Alexander,
How much? Oh, sorry.
as the spoke is coming in your direction, it stops because now the pedestal nearest to you is in the place. And you start hearing a grinding noise as the gear comes to a stop entirely. And then, let's roll some initiative.
What did that spell do about initiative that you cast on me?
You can add a d8 to whatever you roll.
Oh, awesome. So that's 17 plus... Eight.
I'm seriously considering going online somewhere, and because I have all this Christmas money hanging out, I just want to buy like $100 worth of dice. Just
Did
Well,
that
you
when I
can either
got
buy 1,000 dice or 1 dice.
Just buy like
I got a bonus 1 year from work.
So Gus, is this initiative? Everybody's placed. Lucius, well, what happened?
Hey, I fell asleep at the wheel.
Gotcha. Gus, so here's the situation. The spoke is coming your direction, and because the gears come to a stop, about half of the space of the pedestal is taken up by the spoke over top of it, and it's grinding next to it. Because on the other side of the gear, the spoke is not able to pass over the pedestal. It's blocked. So you're kind of precariously balanced with either 1 foot on the pedestal and 1 foot on the spoke, or straddling the spoke, or something similar. In any event, your footing is not particularly secure. And it's your turn.
Okay. I'm going to, can I, am I still holding this down, or is it locked in place? Like, if I get off of this...
You have no idea.
Okay.
Sounds like an experiment.
Okay, I'm gonna move back over here.
Clamber back up onto the gear.
Mhm.
And as soon as you do, you hear the pedestal behind you is slowly moving back upwards.
Ah, crap. Okay, back to where I was.
So move back. Okay.
Yeah.
And it stops. Is that it?
Yeah.
Seeker.
Yeah. Oh, do you just mean it's my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna send my familiar down at the end of my turn to see if the bottom of this pedestal, where this thing is coming up from, now has a gap in it.
I mean, you can see from the gear, the bottom of the pedestal still disappears down into the black ink. You don't even.
Oh,
descend
okay.
the
So it's a very long pedestal. Okay.
Yeah, it's descends. It's like a column that descends down into the smoke and vanishes. So unless you're going to send your familiar down into the smoke,
No, this smoke seems like bad news.
you don't know that for sure. Might be the good stuff.
I'm gonna make an inference.
So what are you doing?
In that case, I think I'm just gonna dodge.
Dodge. It's going to bring us to Connor.
Dodging sounds good.
Okay.
I like dodging.
Well, I rolled terrible initiative, and there's 2 people below me. So, Seeker, 2 points of force damage. Alex, 2 points of force damage. Scrappy, 4 points of force damage. Lucius, 2 points of force damage. Connor, 5 points of force damage. Gus, 4 points of force damage. The Tressum, 2 points of force damage.
I ripped the fort trestle. I loved you.
The grinding below you stops. You all can feel the gear trying to move under your feet, but that stops for a moment. The gear ceases attempting to move. The grinding sound fades away. Then you hear a loud crack, and for a moment, in the center of the gear, down in the black cloud, is illuminated for just a brief instant, and 7 magic missiles snake up through the center of the gear and impact everybody in the room. After that happens, the gear resumes attempting to move, and the grinding picks back up. It's going to bring us to Alexander. Did anybody else have a familiar out? I'm sorry. I only know about the Tressum right now.
I have a familiar, but it's not out.
It's not out. Okay.
Right now.
Alexander, what would you like to do?
I would like to make an active investigation check to try and determine like what mechanical process this gear drives by. Like, is there another thing that the teeth are running through? Where's the power from it coming from?
You have no idea because you cannot see beneath this black smoke. Whatever mechanism turning the gear is beneath that.
So does this like piece of the center like continue downward into the smoke? Is there like a shaft?
No, there's nothing in the center. It's just a black circle. Like just a empty space. Just like on the map.
So is the gear rotating in space? Like it's not secured to anything?
No, you're not sure because a foot beneath you there's black smoke that you can't see through.
Okay. Already an action to fire a shot down that center hole if it lights up again.
Okay.
And
Cool.
Scrappy's going to dodge.
Scrappy will dodge. That's going to bring us to Lucius.
Oh, I'm also going to jump on top of Scrappy for a better vantage point down there.
He's not quite as slippery. Lucius.
I'm going to attempt to open this door.
Which of the 4 directions?
Let's try up.
Up. There's a shutter.
Yep.
The thing does not move. Everybody go ahead and move yourself about 1/2 space clockwise around the gear. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The gear's not moving. Stay put. That's going to bring us...
Okay, yeah.
Was that it for Lucius?
That's it.
Okay. That's going to bring us back to Gus.
So I'm how far down if I'm standing on this? Or no, I'm down.
You're down on the pedestal. The spoke is about a foot above the gear. That's about how far down the pedestal has gone. So you're either precariously dangling on the pedestal itself with not a lot of foot room, or you're kind of straddling the spoke with one leg while standing on the pedestal with the other. Either way, you don't have very solid footing.
Right. I am going to actually just hop on this.
Scramble back up to the gear.
Scrabble and let it rise.
Okay, and it looks like it's going to take a few moments to rise up.
Yep.
And that's it.
And that's it. Like, I think we need to think about this a little more before we start pressing random buttons. Not pointing fingers at anybody, but, you know.
Seeker.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I think I'm just going to try out this door. Try lifting it upwards.
Upwards? And you try to move it upwards and it shudders and does not move.
Okay.
Moving or staying put?
I'm just going to step here so that if it starts moving again, I can still mess with this door a bit.
Okay. Connor, you up. I might have asked this before, but is Connor actually wearing this hat?
You did ask that before.
I forget the answer.
I think we agreed that he pulls out the hat when they go dungeon delving.
It's his dungeon hat.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
his dungeon hat.
I'm happy that you have a
Dodge.
dungeon hat. Dodging. Connor,
Yeah.
as you're bracing yourself in the room, looking for the threat coming from whatever direction to try to dodge, y'all can't dodge magic missiles, you realize. Note to hit roll.
Really? That's new to me.
So, but by the time your turn comes to an end, the pedestal that Gus has jumped off of has raised back up to its starting position, which means the pedestal on the other side of the room has lowered again. The gear stops grinding and resumes rotating clockwise. That's going to bring us to... Actually, we can come off initiative for now, but I reserve the right to jump back on initiative when you guys do something silly.
All right. For the next little bit while things are turning around, I'm just going to keep trying the door, and I'm going to keep trying upwards on the theory that maybe it's timing based, which direction works.
Okay. And it does not open.
Okay. So I'll relay that to the others.
I mean, I could try and batter the door down, I suppose.
These doors don't really batter down.
Like a beer
We won't know
batter
unless
or
we
a
try.
tempura batter?
Alex is going to take out his smithing tools and hammer the dents out of Scrappy.
Okay.
That'll take a minute.
Do we think jumping on the other pedestal is just going to make that one sink, make the triangle go up, and we get smacked with magic missile again?
Well, we could try just pushing it and then seeing what happens. If it starts to rise up, we could always stop.
Okay.
So, how does question Seeker, like, what kind of, you have a ability, that a spell that summons like an eye, right?
Yeah.
What is the requirements to, like, put an eye somewhere? Like,
I'm not sure what you mean.
like, do you have to be able to see the location? What?
What's the spell? Arcane Eye?
Yeah.
Arcane eye, or just any kind of divination spell allows him to see into an area.
Because I'm not sure if you're asking about Arcane Eye or Clairvoyance.
Whichever
I think
one.
he's asking about Arcane Eye.
Okay.
I want to, like, throw, like, my halberd down into the mist here.
Okay.
Well,
Like,
Arcane
but
Eye, I don't have trained at the I
Well,
don't have it prepared.
Like, your clairvoyant spell, then.
I don't have that prepared either.
Okay, never mind. What kind of divination wizard are you?
The best kind.
I have many other spells prepared.
The kind that's not trained in religion. So you pitch your halberd down into the center.
No, I was gonna ask, because I was gonna, like, if so. My thought was, if I throw an object down there that you have seen,
Mhm.
can you, like, use that as like an anchor to look around what's down there?
Oh, no.
Okay. I have no idea how divination spells work.
Yeah. If we want to, like, do some trickery like that, yeah, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Because I can just summon the halberd back.
So what's next?
I think we need to try and close the door we opened before we try and open another one.
Yeah,
That
I'm just not sure
tracks.
how. Like maybe there's like a hidden button somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over there and try and look for any mechanism that might open it back up
And
or close it back up.
go ahead and make an investigation check.
Yep.
Can I assist with that?
Sure. Oh, actually, you know what? No, these are 5-foot squares. There's not really much space for Seeker to stand at the door. Well, you're both gnomes. I'll allow it. You both are tiny little people. But just
That's a 23 on investigation.
little adorable half pints. Nothing jumps out at you. There's no mechanism that you can see where not only where that you could control the door to bring it back up, but you're not even totally sure how the handle, which jutted out from the door, got down into the floor when Gus moved it downwards. There doesn't seem to be enough physical space.
How much space is there between the door and like the tiles around it? Is there enough to get a wire down there?
A wire, probably. A wire, probably. Getting leverage with a crowbar, probably not.
Yeah, let's try. I'm going to try and run a probing wire from my thieves' tools down into there and see if I can't find if there is a bar on this side that I can hook it against.
On this side of the door? How
Yeah.
long is your wire?
I don't know. I mean, it's part of it. I'm just, it's just the abstract thieves' tools kit.
Mhm.
So,
So 800 feet of copper wire.
nah, probably like 6 feet. Like imagine that's the longest wire you would be carrying around.
Go ahead and make a Thieves' Tools check. Dexterity Thieves' Tools.
Yep. Double proficiency on this. Let's see. Sorry, they don't list this on the sheet. It's really dumb. 26.
The feedback you get from your probing wire leads you to believe that there is, in fact, a door handle on this side of the door as well. But again, there doesn't seem to be physical space for the handle to rise up through the floor. You're not sure how the door handle passed down into the floor, because now the top of the door kind of sits flush with the floor tiles. What's next? Lucius, are you actually wearing that hat?
No.
It's too bad.
Regrettable.
Let's go 1 to 10. What kind of hat are you wearing?
I will. How about this door that I'm standing next to right here?
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and move it down, same as the other door is over here.
And there's the same impact shutter. The door does not move.
Maybe if we try a few of these doors at the same time, Lucius? I'm
Maybe.
gonna head over to one of these other doors.
Okay. So which doors and which directions are we trying?
Which, so there's a door here, here, and is there another one over here that I'm not seeing?
Yeah, the one there's. Do you guys not see on the map? Might not
It's right
have.
here.
Right here.
Yeah, they're a little bit unclear through the fog of war, but we
There
can
you
make them
go.
out.
That's perfect. Okay, I'm going to try pulling this one. How about left and right, Lucius? Like you do right, I'll do left.
Sure.
And the shutter's a little louder this time because you're moving 2 doors at once. But after an inch of give, you feel the impact and the door does not open in either of those directions.
Huh.
What happened? What do you think the mechanism that drops the pedestal down works in the other direction too? Like if you put weight on the northern pedestal, it'll sink down as well.
I think so, yeah. It sounds like a Gus task. Gus, no offense, you've got the biggest pool.
Gus, you're jumping onto the red circle pedestal?
Yeah, that's what you asked me to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just jump on it.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw as this boat comes around. Where does everybody else want to be standing when Gus jumps on the
I'm good where
pedestal?
I'm at.
Okay.
I'm good at where I'm at.
Yeah, where I'm at is fine.
That's a 10.
A 10?
Yeah, it's straight 10.
Okay. Same thing happens as before. Your pedestal descends, the triangle pedestal rises at the same time. And you manage to barely keep your footing as this boat comes around. But if you had rolled much worse than that. And so we're going to come back onto the initiative order on Gus's turn. Gus, what would you like to do?
I'm going to...
Just pop yourself back up. We can try to think of an idea.
Yeah. Do this. Just pop back up.
Okay, so rather than let the gear come to a stop and grind, you're going to jump back off?
Yeah, we just... Yeah, I guess there if it did the same exact thing.
And Seeker and Connor, are you guys doing anything in the next couple seconds?
Nah.
Nope.
Just like before, just as you're... Lucius, you're standing closest. This spoke is about to impact the triangle gear, but before it has a chance to, Gus clambers back up off of his pedestal. The triangle pedestal lowers back down, back to its resting position. And the cog continues to click away clockwise.
Hey, Alex, do you have any thing we could use to cover this 5? You have like a something, I don't know, that would block some magic missiles?
See something to cast magic missile? I'll look at the wizard. No longer
Okay.
wizards, plural.
Give me 1 second here, and I will tell you. I don't have it prepared, so it doesn't show up on my prepared list. I have to look at the bigger list.
Very curious is what you do have prepared.
Yeah.
I have many spells. Yeah, you do have to be able to see it.
Magic.
I don't think I have anything quite that large, unfortunately, on me.
I don't
Well-
either.
Is anybody wearing like a stupid cape or something?
I think when we get back,
I
I gotta
will-
load. Once we're out of this, I'm gonna load some trade goods into this bag of holding.
I do not demand your pardon. I do not beg your pardon. I demand your pardon.
For asking a question?
Are you wearing a stupid cape?
Yes, I don't like the implication that my cape is considered stupid.
There's no cool way to wear a cape.
This is what you guys are
Yes,
arguing
you
about
nerd.
in the magic missile clockwork?
Yes,
So
it
while-
absolutely
whatever
is.
Connor has no interest in whatever they're arguing about. He's going back out in the hallway.
I-
Checked if anything has changed in the hallway, right? Has anything actually changed?
I'll go with you to look into that. Let's just do an investigation of the hallway.
You can't be 100% certain because, like I said, the tiles on the floor, it's possible the configuration of them might be changed. You hadn't committed them to memory, but on the whole, it resembles the same hallway you left. And just like I
Alexander,
told
where-
Alex, there doesn't look to be a physical space where the handle of this door could have slid down into the floor.
Alexander, why are these machines so infuriating? Why do I have an intense loathing for them at a primal level?
Sounds like a personal problem.
May I borrow your cape,
No,
please?
no.
It's not stupid.
I don't like whatever you're. I don't like the idea of you messing
Close
with
the
my
door
clothing.
from that side.
I just want to try and stretch it across here to break line of sight with magic missile.
I don't think it's gonna work.
So the only other thing I can think of
Wait.
doing. Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, does Alex still have all that cloth in his bag of holding that he procured from the?
Burnt with fury with the funeral pyre.
Oh, okay. Continue. Sorry.
So the only other thing I can think of doing, when we press down on the triangle, circle went up, right?
Yeah.
We observe that there's a gap underneath the circle when it's raised, right?
No.
No, there's a big pillar that's going down both of them, and the pillar is what's raising. So the pillar, we can't tell where the bottom of the pillar is.
Okay.
So we do, Alex, throw a coin down there, like a light coin, because it extinguishes the torch, but I mean, that's magic light.
Yeah, I'll infuse a stone coin with light and drop it down the center.
Okay. You drop it down, and two things happen in very rapid succession. The first thing is that the light of the coin goes dim much faster than you would expect. Something about the just inky black cloud just beneath this gear is dampening the magic on the coin. Immediately after you can no longer see the coin, you hear a crackle of energy from underneath.
Yeah, so we're not going down there. Good to know.
Gus almost did.
What if we stand on both pedestals at the same time?
I was thinking that too.
I was wondering, do we have two people that are roughly the same weight?
So, here's what my notes say, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. But I'm thinking the way I'm going to abstract this is Alex and Seeker are 1 weight unit. Lucius and Connor are 2 weight units. Gus is 3, and Scrappy is like fucking 9.
5. Yeah.
So we have to do okay, so we need to do some math here. So if you said I'm 4, right?
Alright, so you have a 2 liter, a 1 liter, and a 5 liter pitcher.
It's Tower of Hanoi, but with pancakes.
I think Lucius and Connor are the most obvious one. I don't know that Seeker and I weigh enough.
Why don't we try whoever 2 people are going to stand on there? Let's tie a rope around both of them, because then if they fall, they're just going to dangle on opposite ends of the rope with the other person, and they can just pull themselves back up.
And they can high five underneath the smoke.
Right.
Pretty rad.
No. But
How
if
about
I
this?
slip, I'm gonna cast fall on myself, or cast fly on myself. That's
Well, how about this? Okay, so Lucius and Connor equal me, right? So I stand on one circle, both of them stand on the other circle, and if they fall, we can save each, like, because I can just like Misty Step.
Alright, so
off.
my thoughts are Seeker and Alex weigh the same. 1 unit
Yeah.
each.
Right.
Lucius and Connor weigh the same. 2 units each. Gus is the heaviest. 3 units. I wasn't gonna
3 units.
I wasn't gonna think over any more than that. And then Scrappy is like some absurd. He's a medium creature made entirely of metal. So the heaviest
So-
by far.
So like I take.
so.
I weigh 3.
I'm just gonna say the flaw that I see in this thing is if we have more than one person on these things, that's probably going to end up with both people slipping off. Because you see how it's like smaller than a 5-foot square to stand on these things.
And it gets smaller still as the spoke tries to encroach over top of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Can-
Also, I don't trust myself to be able to hold my balance while this arm comes around.
What about Connor and one of the gnomes? That's 3, and then I'll do the other one, right?
All right, well, if I'm getting up on one of these things, I'm tying myself to Scrappy.
That tracks.
Alright, so what are we doing?
I'll get on there if Lucius or Connor is willing to get on there with me.
Yeah. All right. I'm
So-
holding on to you. You're holding on to the rope.
Uh-huh.
Also, I can Misty Step in case of emergency anyway. But you would be on your own then.
So Gus is
mean, I'll
hopping on
climb
top
the rope.
one. Connor and Seeker are hopping onto the bottom one. Gus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You felt the pedestal descend, and just the same way as it did before, as you step onto it, but looking across the room as your friends get situated on the other side, your pedestal stops, and both pedestals find an equilibrium after a couple of seconds. When that happens, the gear also comes to a stop, except this time There's no grinding. But then there's a loud sound as all three of these doors slide to the right, revealing what's beyond. Beyond this door is this room